This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I'll make it happen again. Ramona says, that's why I feel like when you speak about the Dolphins, you really make me feel like something's coming. Like, watch out. The Dolphins are going to be badasses for years to come. Yeah, they are. That's why, Ramona, look at what they're doing. They traded for Matt Breida as a steal for a 5th-round pick. A guy that's got 4.3 speed out of the backfield. Then, and then you don't pound the crap out of Matt Breida because he's not that back. So you bring Howard in. So when there's a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 2, a 4th and 1, a 4th and goal, a 3rd and goal, guess who's going to get the ball and guess who's going to hammer that line? Howard. Yeah, there's a method behind everything that they're doing. And they didn't spend a lot of money on Howard, and they didn't spend a high draft pick on Breida. And they don't spend a lot of money on Devontae Parker, and that's just the way things are now. They're not going to do things where they're overpaying for people and they're giving away draft picks. And you know what? How many times do I say this, Ramona? If you listen enough, how many times do I say this? We have to unprogram people from stupid things because the Dolphins were stupid for 20, 25 years. So, 5 years ago, Mike Tannenbaum does trade for that guy after signing Howard and after getting Breida. He would have done stuff like that because that's the stupid things that the Dolphins used to do. They don't do those things anymore. They draft Noah knowing that if X gets out of line again, they're going to groom the guy next to take over, and they got Byron Jones because they said, hey, we don't have great quarterbacks in our division. Let's make it impossible for them to pass. Let's force them to run, and now let's go improve our run defense. That's exactly what they did. Because their secondary, they're going to try to make everybody in their division one-dimensional. That way it's a lot easier to defend. I mean, there's all kinds of intelligence going on in the way they are Man, I mean, just all I did was rip them for stupid things for 20 years because that's what they were doing constantly. Stupid things for 20 years. And this is why I'm telling you that a Dalvin Cook move would be a stupid move. It would make no sense whatsoever. Did I take a break yet?
No. And exactly what you're talking about. I used to love that formula when we had Surtain and Madison. When you got lockdown corners,
oh God,
they could play on an island. That frees up 8 guys. So if you're a little weak, your safeties can stay in the middle and help the run. That's because you don't have to worry about your corner with double coverage. That guy's got that guy.
Right.
It frees up people on the field.
Yep. Big O, no word on where Logan Ryan or Larry Walford have signed. No, they have not. Devonta Freeman. There's still some pretty good free agents that are available out there that could be had. Not that I want Devonta Freeman. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out another name out there that I know is available in free agency. But no, nothing yet with those guys, unfortunately.
Would you say the reason there's so many...
And that's a good thing, too, by the way, because if they're interested in Ryan or Warford, the Warford one, I don't think they're going to make at all because I think they got to wait till they get their linemen on the field and practicing if they ever get to that point, and then they see what they have, and if they're not happy with it, then they go get Larry Warford. The Logan Ryan one, I know he wants like $10 million a year. Maybe they don't want to pay that kind of money. So, again, the Dolphins aren't – it's a different Dolphin team, man. It's a different – they're rebuilding, so they're not in the – they don't have to kill themselves to add pieces because, oh, this is the year. It's not the year. It's a rebuild. You know what I mean? So, patience.
Oh, would you say –
But no word on those guys yet.
Would you say the reason that there are so many quality free agents out there still – there's been no camp. You haven't gotten to see the guys, and we haven't had the injuries where, you know what, we need to go get that guy, right?
With COVID, there is no injuries.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they're still – because I can't remember a year that, like, the quality of players that are out there.
Yeah.
Man, if you had a decent offensive lineman, they would be somewhere already, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking all pros that are sitting out there.
Yep. NorCal says, if Tannenbaum was still in Miami, Tannenbaum and Sue would still be getting paychecks from Miami, even though they're not here. You're right. Yeah. Big O, the Breida trade came from the 5th round acquired in Aqib Talib trade for cash. Greer's a genius. Dude, Greer, I've been saying it for a while now. We're headed in the right direction. We got a real GM, man. We got a real GM. We got, guys like Reggie McKenzie and Marvin Allen next to him. I keep telling, I know it's hard. Look, I get people will laugh at me from the outside and the periphery, and even some Dolphin fans that have been suffering for 10, 15, 20 years now. When I tell them that the Dolphins are headed, absolutely in the right direction. They're going to be an ass-kicking team. And then they really laugh at me when I say this is going to be one of the best front offices in the NFL. But I'm just looking at what's happened in the last year, and it's been genius. The way they have torn this thing down and the way they're turning it around, and they're turning it around even faster than I thought they would. I don't know what happens this year. This year might be shot because of COVID, but all I know is that our team is headed in the right direction. And that's all I give a crap about. Because I've been just so frustrated for the last 20 years that all they've done is screw things up. And they're not even close to that now. Okay? Oh my God, I'm 32, and for the past 15 years, all I saw was stupidity. I was always waiting for the day that the Dolphins would get their stuff together, and I'm excited. You should be. All right? So, and you got DFS Hobby. Greer isn't a genius. He's lost more than he gained. If Tua fails, Greer is done here in Miami. Well, what's he lost, bro? What's he lost? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure what he's lost. He's gained a lot. He loaded the team up this year with a draft. He did it in free agency, and he's got a ton of picks next year. And if whether Tua fails or not, everything that they're doing now is better than anything in the past. You go Rosen, you go Tua, you go get the next one. That they never did that before. And you just keep you're going to fail with quarterbacks. You're not going to hit every single time. Okay? So I love the fact that they're continuing to go after a quarterback. And when you got 14 picks, using one on Tua, as long as the rest of the draft is good, the Tua thing becomes the bonus. That's really the way you look at it. But again, DFS Hobby is one of those jaded fans that thinks that it's all terrible still, and it's going to be terrible, and he's waiting for terrible to happen, and he's waiting for the next shoe to fall. He's been jaded that way, and I get it. I have friends that are just like DFS Hobby, that they just don't believe it. They think that the Dolphins are destined to be terrible every year, no matter what. So they don't give themselves the slight opportunity of actually enjoying what's going on. But that's fine. Oh, what's going on in D.C.? Do you think Snyder should be forced to sell the team? I hope so, but they've got this whole bogus thing where the NFL is going off of Washington's internal investigation, which is that just, wow. You know? A DFS Hobby goes, you just can't look in the last year, Big O. Oh, I can't? Why? Because Greer's only been in charge the last year of everything. I'm not sure what you're talking about. He's been fully in charge in the last year. He only had influence in the draft the prior years. That's it. And he still did a pretty good job overall, considering he had Tannenbaum and Gase above him. But again, man, if you don't want to be, objective, that's fine. I've been a Dolphin fan for a long time, early 70s. I truly believe we're on the right path. We have a plan and foresight. Damn right. Damn right. But I doubt they'll get rid of, back to you, Troy, I doubt they will get rid of Dan Snyder. It doesn't look like that. The way people are explaining it, if they're going to if the NFL is going to go off of Washington's internal investigation, put it this way. Mark Cuban had the same issue. There was all kinds of sexual harassment and all that in his business, and he got reprimanded by the NBA and fined. But it wasn't Mark Cuban. But because it was his environment, he got fined for it and everything else that came with it. I think they can't force Snyder out because if you read the Washington Post story, there's no allegations against Snyder. Now, the women feel that Snyder knew that environment existed, and you got to feel that Mark Cuban and Dan Snyder, as hands-on as they are, they've got to know something, and they must have had some kind of a chauvinistic approach to it. Okay?
The way it sounds, the closest thing that touches Snyder is that his inner circle were some of the people doing it, but not him directly, and then their lack of human resource department to handle such a situation, that to address it when these complaints were brought forth. Mm-hmm. That is the main indictment right now. And like you said, there is distance from Snyder. It's just his inner circle and not setting up a human resource department to address these complaints.
Right.
That's it.
Right, because he's in charge of everything. He doesn't care. He's just like, oh, no, I'll make that decision.
As usual, the guy sitting in the lofty perch doesn't know what's going, truly what's going on the ground floor. They're removed.
Big O, DFS Hobby chimes in on a super chat. Unfortunately, DFS Hobby, you actually chime in with bad information. Okay? You go, Big O, full control, January 4, 2016, Greer's team since. You're wrong. That's inaccurate. He was only in charge of the draft. That's it. He wasn't in charge of any trades. He wasn't in charge of free agency. So that's where you're wrong. The only thing he was in charge of was the draft the last 4 years. Okay? That's it. That's all. And if you look at the draft over the last 4 years, it's better than all the drafts that have happened prior. You have to go back to Jimmy Johnson to top it. Okay? That's it. His drafts, finding X in the second round, and I think 3 of his 4 first-round picks have been good picks, because Charles Harris obviously is not. But I think Wilkins is going to turn into a hell of a player. He obviously made a right pick in Tunsil and turned that into 3 picks. And Minka was also a heck of a player. So he picked those players. Those are his picks. So they worked out pretty well. And he's hit on other picks in those 4 years. So, but again, you can create whatever narrative you want, DFS Holiday. He has not been totally in charge. You're wrong.